Real Estate and Mortgage Show, your go-to spot for everything home buying, selling, and financing on News Talk 580 CFRA.
Welcome to the show, everybody, and welcome back, Frank. We missed you last week.
No, we did not miss Frank.
Didn't.
Some of us missed Frank last week.
I did not miss Frank at all. It was actually a great show.
I had no voice left. I was lucky enough to go to Game 6 of the World Series. Unfortunately, disappointed, but still, what an atmosphere. And
Must have been a heck of an experience.
it was, top 10 experiences of sports experiences, and I've had some incredible sporting experiences, but that's up there. In the city of Toronto and Canada all got together for that, what should have been a joyous event, but unfortunately was heartbreaking. But I know we're going to talk about the job report, and I truly believe that the Blue Jays are probably responsible for half of the jobs created last month, because that city was just
on fire,
bustling.
Let me ask you a question,
incredible.
Frank. If it was the Maple Leafs against the LA Kings in
Never.
the finals, would you
Never.
be going down to the game and
Never.
supporting the Maple Leafs?
Well, I would be in an LA Kings jersey. You're right. I'd be in an LA Kings jersey for sure.
It's amazing how many people love the Blue Jays in Canada. But yeah, listen, there's a lot of Leaf fans that love the Leafs, but you either hate the Leafs or you love the Leafs. No one's right down the middle with the Leafs at all.
Well, it's same with the Raptors, right? We've only got the one team,
Canadian team,
right?
so you'll cheer for them.
So it makes sense that Canada jumps on board.
Yeah, and probably stop people from buying homes, because everybody was so invested in the Blue Jays that I'm willing to bet that, and it happens, right? We see it at election time. We see it during Stanley Cup finals, which Ottawa's made and Toronto hasn't, by the way, but in our lifetime. But, at the end of the day, when there's something that's happening in a city, it does actually impact real estate sales, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? Definitely put a damper on on Halloween. I mean, once that game came on, my lights were off. There's no candy. Like, kids, get away.
Oh, my doorbell didn't ring.
Yeah, no.
I think a lot of parents said, we don't have to go out tonight. It's okay. I'll buy you the candy here. Just put it on the thing. You don't have to go out.
Exactly.
It was also a rainy night, too, here, so it didn't hurt another excuse for that.
Yep.
All right. So numbers are in for October. Glasses are on.
How old are you again?
I got to reposition
with those thick glasses. How old are you again?
Stop it, Frank. Stop it.
All right. So how are we looking for October?
You know
Paul?
what? No, there was no real surprises in October. It's how if you look at October over October, and then you also look at October compared to September, there's some good numbers in there. I mean, like, our number of sales in October was down 1.2%, but up 8.1% over September. So, the numbers are still pretty decent. We saw the inventory. Our new listings are up 13.4% and 21.3%. But when you look at over September, the listings actually came down. They came down 3.6% and they came down 15.1%. So the inventory is slowly coming down, even though the inventory is up on the year, but it's slowly coming down. And whether it's people are taking their house off the market for their winter season, for the Christmas holiday, I'm not sure. But, our listings are dwindling a little bit. When we look at the months of inventory, it came down to 3.6 from 4 months of inventory. And our average sale price actually went up 5.7% in October. It went up to $709. So solid
That's
October.
quite the jump for month over month.
It was actually a very, very good October. And if you look at year to date, number of sales up 3.3%, new listings up 10.7%, active listings up 16.9%. The sale to new listing ratio, so how many homes that hit the market actually sell, is actually less than 50% now. 49.9% of homes that hit the market actually sell.
And what's causing that? Is that just people not pricing it properly in the first place, or
it could be a combination of anything, to be honest with you. It's obviously not pricing it properly, not having it ready, potentially sellers not listening to their realtor on pricing. But everything is about location, condition, and price, right? So if you can't change your location, you can definitely change your price and definitely change your condition. And sometimes sellers just don't. And that's why they're not selling. And also it comes down to a good realtor too, like a good marketing plan and getting the home sold and advertised and marketed. It's funny, I was at a conference this week in San Diego and it was like exactly what I like to say to people. This guy up on stage said, he's like, my job is not to sell your home. My job is to market and advertise your home to bring buyers to your door. The house has to sell itself.
Right.
And that is the truth. So a good agent will advertise and market your house and get those buyers to your door. Our average sale price is up 3%. It's at 700. So we've eclipsed the 700 mark, which is great. So
we've come back on that a little bit because I know the last, what was it, August and September both dipped.
Yeah,
we were like $1,000 or whatever.
Yeah,
like
we were at 704, then 702, then 699. Now we're back up to 700 and change. Right. Call it 701. So we've crept up a little bit, which tells us it's pretty flat. To be honest with you, 3% increase in the average sale price is actually quite flat. But we're seeing modest growth in sales activity, stable pricing, and seasonal easing of elevated inventory levels, which is great. And we see it mainly, the thing that's really bringing the economy right now is the townhomes. I mean, single-family homes are pretty much flat on the average sale price. Townhomes are up 6.6%, and condos are flat. Even though the condo market is struggling, their price is actually flat, which is not terrible. So all in all, I think it's a decent October, and I mean, we're having a strong year. I mean, we're not knocking it out of the park, but we weren't meant to knock it out of the park. And in fact, with all the external, things that are happening in the world, all the headwinds against the market right now, we could be sitting in a much worse market. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people at this conference I went to, a lot of these Americans, and some of them are in some really tough markets, and they're struggling. The sales aren't there. Luckily, the rates are coming down a little bit for them. But, when my coach asked me, he says, Paul, tell these Americans what the rates are like in Canada. And I said, well, we're under 4%. We're like anywhere from 3.7, 3.8, and around that range. Everyone's like, what? Like they couldn't understand how we weren't in the 5, 6s, and 7s like they are, right? So all good news, though. I think the market is strong. It's a typical Ottawa market. I mean, realtors have to really sharpen their skills and really do a good job for sellers. And for buyers, I mean, there's lots of inventory still out there. Even though the inventory is slowly coming down, there's still lots of inventory out there.
And we're coming into that time of that season of the year where people start to lose focus a little bit on real estate, right? Like
they do. They
like coming into Christmas, you're thinking about family and
coming into Christmas. But like one thing I'm telling my realtors right now is like pour on the gas. Pour on the gas. I mean, this is where you set yourself up for 2026. This is where you really start to work on your business, not as much in your business,
right.
And really set yourself up for a strong 2026. But sellers right now, they're in the mindset of taking their houses off the market for the Christmas period. And part of me, depending on what area you're in, you might be making a mistake, because what happens is you take your house off the market and you put it back on in the spring. Now, whether that spring for you is Jan, Feb, March, or April, you're putting it back on at that time. Well, how many other people are doing that? Plus the people that are about to hit the market in that spring market, you're now have an influx of listings on the market.
You're competing with a lot more.
You're competing with a lot more. Whereas right now, if you keep your house on the market, your competition might start dropping off the market, and you might be able to get your home sold. Now, as we get into December, it's pretty normal that people take it off around the Christmas period, and that's pretty normal. I don't know if I would, though. I don't know if I would.
Well, there's still always people shopping, right?
This year, our inventory has been through the roof. We've had such high inventory. We're finally starting to see some of that inventory drop, and you take your house off the market? I wouldn't do it. I personally wouldn't do it. There's times of the year that I'd say, yes, I would do it. This is not a year I would do it. I would not be taking my house off the market. And if you're thinking, I got a new build closing in February, when do I put it on? It's not a bad time to put your home on the market right now. Still lots of buyers looking, and we're in a strong, strong selling market. So all in all, I was very, very surprised and very happy with the October numbers. And I mean, even our team in October, we sold over 65 homes in October alone. So big month. Very, very big
Definitely
month.
Up over the previous October. I'll tell you, I shot way more houses in
I believe
this
it.
October versus over last October.
I believe it.
And over September, actually.
Yeah.
So, the numbers sort of bear out my experience from the month as well,
yeah, of course.
On the team, right? September over October. So,
well, we listed almost 20 or 30 more homes in October than we did last October too.
Yep.
And we sold way more than we did this October than we did last October. So yeah, October was strong. I mean, like Frank, like we said, even with all the things that are happening with rates and tariffs and elections and all this stuff, like it's been a very, very strong year and a very strong October.
So, Frank, this week, obviously back at work after your baseball extravaganzas.
I was there and back, by the way. Just I got back very early in the morning on Saturday. So.
Yes.
And no voice.
So. Fair enough. The rate announcement was the week before. Lisa talked about that quite a bit last week. Are you finding you're getting a little more interest in people
No, first-time home buyers are still sitting on the sidelines. As much as we've had some good decreases, and we're back to the neutral rate that Tiff Macklem has always talked about, which is the 2.25. With the Bank of Canada, and then obviously the banks are at 4.45, and that's a neutral rate. And Tiff Macklem made the comment. He goes, "I've done my part. Now the government's got to do their part." And of course, we saw the budget come out this week, so I know we got to go to commercial break.
We'll get into the budget in the second segment
budget,
for sure.
Maybe on the next segment.
What's the best rate out there right now, Frank?
For a mortgage?
Yeah.
You're probably looking in the high threes somewhere. So you're in the 3.89. Sometimes a bank can give you a little bit of a better rate at the branch level. A lot of the banks like to do what's called now cost of nothing renewals by email, so that you don't have to deal with anyone, kind of thing. So again, very profitable for them, but got to be careful. Not everybody, you shouldn't be taking a mortgage out just because of the rate. You need to look at the overall picture, and we'll get into that maybe after the break.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a question, head over to realestateandmortgageshow.com or give us a call at 521-TALK, 521-8255. We will be right back. Welcome back to the show. I think Paul's turned his notifications off now, so we won't hear them dinging through the...
Well, if anyone's heard my ding throughout the first segment...
Well, everybody thought the microwave maybe went off. That's what I was thinking.
Well, do you know who was texting me? Steve Gregory was texting me, and I said, "Sorry, Steve, I'm doing this thing called a radio show." His response, "What's that?"
Steve, we still miss you, man.
Yeah. If you're listening, thanks for lighting up my phone, Steve.
All right, so besides numbers, we got a federal budget out this week.
Yeah, we got the budget out, which I think left a lot of Canadians disappointed. I understand what he's trying to do, and we need investment in our country. There's no question that in the Trudeau era, he totally forgot about that, and therefore we felt so behind every other country that now we're paying the price for it. And I understand what he's doing, but that takes 3, 4, 5 years. There's a lag period to get that investment before it actually does what it's supposed to do, which is create more jobs, create a strong economy. So that's 3 or 4 years away. Unfortunately, Canadians are going to be faced with higher mortgage rates in 2026 because over an 18-month period, about 50% of mortgages are coming up for renewal in Canada. So that is a significant number of mortgages of Canadians who are likely in the ones somewhere now, having to settle in the threes somewhere. So that's why there's pressure on interest rates to come down. It's not for anything outside of getting Canadians, making sure they can stay in their homes and making sure they can live a comfortable lifestyle. Otherwise, Canadians will stay in their homes. I truly believe that Canadians will make sacrifices to make sure that they continue to be homeowners. What they will sacrifice is going out to dinners. Right. The discretionary spending, the stuff that really at the end of the day is what creates the economy, what drives the economy. So therefore there's going to be lots of jobs. So again, we've got headwinds in 2026. I know we saw the job report come out yesterday, and I still believe that half of those jobs were because of the Blue Jays. It just
what were the actual numbers on that job report?
Over 60,000, all part-time. We've seen the unemployment go from 7.1 to 6.9. Keep in mind, the experts predicted that we would lose 2,500 jobs, and all of a sudden we gained over 60,000.
Could be Christmas jobs, maybe, or is it a little early?
A little early. I would think in October. I don't know. The retailers are, especially with online shopping being so big, retailers are hiring much now. There are some manufacturing jobs that have been created, which is good. We need to see that, but again, most of them are part-time. So is it people that are taking part-time jobs because they can't make ends meet? I mean, they don't break down what these part-time jobs are. The one number that is absolutely staggering right now, and it's really hard, and for families that have teenage kids and kids that are looking for jobs, the unemployment rate between 18-year-olds or 16-year-olds and 25-year-olds is 15%.
Whoa.
That is significant, and that is not a good sign because that means young Canadians who are looking to get jobs. That means they're staying home longer. They're not moving out because they don't have jobs. And again, it's not good for our economy when we've got this many young people, kids that have gone to university and now can't even find a job, and they've got all this student debt that's outstanding. So
the other thing too,
there are some headwinds.
The other thing too with the budget, obviously they're going to be cutting some of the government workforce, right? 10%.
Most of it in Ottawa.
Yeah, government. Well, of course. I mean, we're the biggest government town. So now, saying that though, we've had a very cautious real estate market, mainly because of the looming cuts to the government. I mean, when a large portion of our city is government worker, and then now they're talking about cutting jobs. And so a lot of people have been holding off buying, waiting for this news, right? Now, I know some of it's going to be attrition and retirement and forced retirement and things like that.
Still a job cut, though.
Still is a job cut.
You look at it, I mean, again, there's a lot of young people that are looking for jobs, and generally speaking, the way it's worked is people retire, and these young individuals get those jobs. The unemployment rate is so high for these young individuals, and now they're not even going to have a government job to fall back on, because if somebody leaves the government, they're not replacing that position, which is crazy.
They're cutting and not hiring is the problem. So they're cutting and not hiring. Now, how many of those jobs are going to be attrition and retirement and forced retirement and those type of things? Who knows? But I think there's going to be a lion's share of those jobs that are that. Because I do hope that, anytime you lose a job, whether it's, near the end of your career or not, it's still you're losing your job. And it's affected the real estate market this year, because we've been talking about this now
since the election, because both parties were talking about cutting the Fed in the last
and we
election,
felt that.
right?
We've really felt that in the real estate market. We have a number of buyers, just on my team alone, we have a number of buyers who have said, you know what? I know we're actively looking. I'm just going to pause for a little bit, mainly because I don't know how secure my job is. I'm in the government,
right.
And I don't know how secure it is. And so, unfortunately, we now know what's going to happen, and I think they've probably started those cuts now. And how it's going to affect the market, I mean, we're in Ottawa. I mean, we're not in a place where there's not a lot of government workers. We're in a place that has a ton of government workers.
Absolutely.
So it will affect our real estate. It definitely will. I mean, but saying that, it's not as if the budget came out and they said, we're going to start cutting now, and people got caught by surprise. I mean, we knew it was coming. I mean, we knew the government's known ever since the election that there was going to be some cuts, and there has been some cuts,
shrinking the civil service
and
a little
bit.
And
there's going to be even more cuts.
But through attrition,
it's over 3 years. It's over 3 years, so that's the good news, is that they don't have to do it all at once. But here's the concern with it being spread over 3 years. That means that there's 3 years where people are going to be nervous whether they have a job or not.
Right.
So that means we're in for an extended period. And on top of that, again, I keep saying the two letters AI, but AI is very, very prevalent today, because I've spoken to a number of my clients who work for high-tech companies, and one of them being IBM. I spoke to a client yesterday whose husband works at IBM, and they've already started layoffs because of AI. And this is on the – so, Ottawa's always been one of those cities that's shielded by, we've got great government jobs, and we got a really solid high-tech operation here in Ottawa. There's a lot of high-tech companies. The fear is that the government's laying off, but at the same time, we wish that those jobs would be taken over by high-tech, but AI may actually end up costing tech jobs as well. Now, all of a sudden, our city's in trouble.
So, Frank,
now we've got both of those that are losing jobs.
I'm part of this coaching program. It's mainly American, but it's the number one coaching program in North America for the last 12 years, and it's so advanced, it's unbelievable. Like when someone says AI, and someone says, oh, yeah, like ChatGPT? Okay, that's step one. Like what I learned this week, and this is way over my head, but what Jocelyn learned this week is insane what AI is. And we're just scratching the surface.
100%.
Just scratching.
We're at the beginning.
So when someone's like, oh, I know AI well, I use ChatGPT. I'm like, no, that's step one, bud. That's step one.
Yeah, that's kindergarten. That's the kindergarten of AI, honestly. It really is, because, again, I'm on an online course with Tony Robbins on AI, and it's fascinating to see some of the things that AI is going to be doing, and is already some of the corporations have already taken in by not hiring people to answer the phones. AI is answering phones, directing calls. I mean, so imagine how many jobs across both countries and the world are going to be taken over by AI, by machines, and that is a scary thought.
Well, and the challenge with some of that is a lot of those answering the phone kind of jobs are entry-level jobs in companies. So if you can't get into a company in the first place, how do you grow your career?
How do you grow?
Yeah.
But like it used to be the big phase before AI came out. It used to be all about virtual assistants in our business, right? So you could have an assistant in the Philippines who's handling a lot of your paperwork and behind-the-scenes type of thing. Now, those are almost becoming obsolete, and AI is taking over that. Like if you need someone on the phones, AI can do that for you. I mean, there's times where I don't even know if I'm speaking to a computer or if I'm speaking to a human.
That's how
That's how good it's getting. And it's like I got off the phone yesterday. I was speaking to the hotel where I was staying in San Diego, and I talked to them, and I was like, I'm not sure. I think that might have been AI. And I literally was not even sure if I was talking to a human or AI.
That's how good it is.
I think you
I
can
agree.
ask and it has to answer honestly.
Like if I said, is this AI? Is this a human or is this,
I think it has to. I'm not 100%.
But Greg, you're toying around with some things with me right now that it's like,
sure.
I could be in Florida and I could be here showing homes,
That's right.
And some of the phase right now, like we're talking in real estate, we're talking robots could be selling homes soon, showing homes soon. That's how interesting these things are getting. I mean,
I don't buy that.
I don't either. I don't either. But they could be showing a home or things like that. Like, listen, it's so far fetched. We're talking like the Jetsons here. Like we're talking vertical living, people flying their cars into.
I'm
the
still waiting for my
houses.
flying car. That's it.
Right. So
have a question? Head over to realestateandmortgageshow.com or give us a call at 521-TALK 521-8255. We will be right back.